Welcome to the Get Unbusy podcast. I'm your host, Kate Philpott, and this podcast is all about throwing your busy work out the window. You deserve to stay locked in on the parts of your business that light a fire under your hoo-ha, all right? The passion-driven freedom lifestyle, not being glued to your laptop every waking minute of the day. It's time to build a business that works for you, not one that works you into the ground. So, let's get unbusy, shall we? Hello and welcome back to the Get Unbusy podcast. My name's Kate Philpott and I'm your host today. And essentially, I want to talk to you and let you know that you better not hire before doing this stuff, what I'm going to bring you through today. This is something that's really been sitting on my heart lately because so many creative entrepreneurs think that the answer to being busy and overwhelmed and the only way to reduce their workload is, oh, I just need to hire someone. And I have to, in good conscience, stop you before you start throwing money at a problem, because that might not be the thing that gets you over this hump. In this season of business, and it's a very specific season of business, when you are doing all the things and you're building towards that next level, and yeah, you're making a bit of money, but it's not enough to be in full overflow yet, don't start hiring, because you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle if you skip this piece. Yes, the piece in general is systems, but in specifics, today I want to talk to you about your AI minions, okay? These are your little BTS back-end bots that are going to save you hundreds of euros or dollars, hours and hours each week, and so much mental energy before you ever even need a team or even a VA. What if I told you to stop working after only 3 hours today? Would you want to slap me? Because you've got 12 things on your to-do list, and that's not even including your client work and your part-time job. Yeah, that is totally valid. I'll just say, having been the person that's cut my 80-hour work weeks down to 20 hours while still getting the important things done, there is a more productive way of working, where your life becomes a life again while you still get that incredible sense of accomplishment each week. And that is exactly what I teach you to do inside Work Smart Academy, the productivity membership for online coaches and creative entrepreneurs. And naturally, this lends itself to you living in true work-life balance. So there's a link below to join us, and I cannot wait to see you in there. All right, so I'm going to break down a couple of reasons why to build this AI team before you ever hire a single human. And I really want you to hear me on this, because when you hear just how much you can actually get the benefits of hiring without the stress of hiring, your life will be changed, okay? So let's dive into the first piece here. The amount of money you're gonna save. Oh my gosh. Okay, so have AI, I'm going to call them AI minions, right? Your little GPTs, your custom GPTs that are trained to do one specific thing. They are going to give you 60, if not 80% of the support that you would get from a human for either free or for a tiny, tiny fraction of the cost. That means you are going to have more time freed up to grow your income before your expenses grow with it. And if you're hiring someone and you've got a certain amount of expenses, you've got a certain amount of income, and they're growing at the same pace, you're constantly going to be chasing. That's when it starts feeling like you're a hamster on a wheel, Hiring is expensive. It's not just expensive in money, but it's expensive in time, it's expensive in energy, and even emotions. Because you're going to have to start thinking about, how do I onboard this person? How many check-ins do I have to have with this person? How often do I communicate with this person? And managing another person that's pretty, kind of heavy sometimes, unless you're fully ready for it. And people do forget about the hidden costs. Yes, there are massive costs. That is the bottom line on this point that I'm talking about. But the hidden costs as well, people making mistakes, people not communicating with you properly, people not doing the work or not doing it to the standard that you would expect. But I will tell you that AI just doesn't need a salary. You don't have to like send an invoice, nothing like that. It doesn't even need time off out of nowhere because their grandparent died. So, like, of course, sending love to anyone who's had to step out of work for emotional reasons of that kind, I've had to as well. But it is a consequence of the human experience having intense things happen and having emotions that are so, I guess, out of control that you cannot do your job properly. Call it what you want, but AI doesn't have that problem. It's going to give you, like I said, most of the support for a fraction of the cost. Literally, I've had a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, I use the free version of ChatGPT. I'm not paying $20 a month or whatever it is for ChatGPT." And I actually so get it because I was the same until I got ChatGPT Plus, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is not just like that your AI is a bit better. No, this is like you have a team of 20 people if you want that help you do all of the things. And it doesn't all have to fall on your lap." Oh my God. For example, I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite GPTs, which is my podcast producer GPT. So it used to take me about 2.5 hours to like decide on the title for the podcast episode and write the show notes and, think of all the tags to put in. And don't even get me started on writing the promo email for the podcast episode. And then, any other social media stuff like writing threads posts or whatever. It takes me 25 minutes max now because of this GPT I have in place. That one GPT alone saves me hours every single week. Oh, and those are hours that if I was planning on outsourcing, that's probably a task I would outsource. I would be paying, let's say someone is charging me $25 an hour to work, to do work, and I get them to produce my podcast episode and it takes them 2.5 hours. That's what, $62.50 for one podcast episode to get out. It is literally $20 a month for this. And I release podcast episodes every week, so that's $62.50 multiplied by 4. I'm not going to do that maths right now, but you can put that together. Every single month, it's only $20 a month for the ChatGPT Plus. I would have to pay somebody else that $62.50 to actually do that thing. And it literally only takes me 25 minutes now. And even if now I outsourced the task and gave them my GPT, they would still only be able to bill me for 25 minutes, which is, what, $12.50 instead of $62.50, because I've got the AI minion first. Can't you see how much money this is going to save you? So that's one major piece. The next piece is you're going to reclaim hours of repetitive work. I've kind of already alluded to this. This is a very obvious benefit of this, but we all have invisible time leaks that kind of eat our week alive. Like I said in last week's episode, it used to be responding to client messages, formatting intake surveys from people, setting up check-ins and stuff for me. Those tasks should not have needed my brain, but I was kind of forcing myself to think about them anyway. And it's not that the task is useless. It's not that it's an unimportant task, but it's not deep creative work where it really requires my brain to do the thinking. So every single time you do one of those small admin jobs manually, you are chipping away at the energy and the capacity you need for creativity. And I'm going to expand on what I mean by I was responding to client messages and formatting intake surveys and setting up check-ins. With the client messages, so with my one-to-one clients, we have 2 or 3 check-ins via text a week. And guess what? When you send your check-ins, you have to, they respond. If I see that the message is just about them celebrating a win, I'll put it into this message responder GPT, and it just knocks out a quick response. And the response could be it's all I've trained it to speak like me. So it's yes, you're absolutely killing it. Just keep it up. You're doing fantastic. That's all that's needed from me in those situations. But that could have before, prior to having this GPT set up, that could have been something that, you know, just took a lot of my brain space. And then if I did all that kind of stuff with, bear in mind, I have like 30 one-to-one clients now. If I did that with 30 clients every single day, how am I ever going to have the time or capacity for deep work? I'm not. Okay, so that's one on the client messages. Formatting intake surveys and stuff, that's one where, like, you know, their intake survey is in a really ugly format, and like I basically just want a GPT to put it in a nice format so that I can put it in their document and I can see like their top goals and their primary reason for joining and wanting accountability and stuff like that. So basically I've got it set up to put the question in bold and the answer in just plain text, no weird formatting. That's all I needed to do. I just copy and paste the intake survey and it just looks pretty straight away. It's readable and I can put it straight in the client's document. So the reason I'm saying this all under the umbrella of you're going to reclaim hours of repetitive work is your AI bots get to be like your little task recyclers. They're like clearing out the clutter so that your mind can actually stay in its zone of genius. And the most important thing is that you work because you want to work, not because you have to work. So reclaiming time is not just about speed, it's about working because you want to and having a low maintenance business that actually feels light, fluffy, fun, and gives you space to be creative. The next piece here is that you're going to build consistency before you even build a team. Because one of the biggest struggles that a lot of entrepreneurs have is being consistent with all of the things because they're trying to do everything themselves. And when I say you don't have to do it all, people immediately, they either go one of two ways. They go, I don't need to do it all. So A, I'm going to drop the ball, or B, I need to hire. And that's just not it. You and someone else are not the only two options here anymore. Okay, like we do have AI that can create the consistency of having a full team without actually managing a full team. Can't you see the power in this, right? Like, oh, even think about having, like, let's say you had a social media manager who never ever forgets your weekly post, your client follow up, your podcast email, because it's going to create those and you're going to have them in, like, I don't know, a spreadsheet or a document where, or even scheduled ahead of time with so much more ease because it's not all relying on you and your brain. That's why things can feel overwhelming and things can feel like it's like, it can feel like you're juggling like 15 juggling balls at once, just trying to keep a small business up and running, like just trying to keep everyone happy. And actually the consistency can be found by making use of these AI bots and stuff, and it will give you so much relief because things will still be moving even when you're not moving. And that kind of reliability, again, saves you time, saves you money, saves you sanity, and it's available to you right now before you ever even post a story saying you're hiring. Like, you can have that right now. It's literally $20 a month. Oh my God. You'd swear I've been commissioned by ChatGPT to like talk about this, but I just think this is, if in this day and age, not having that subscription is like, you're actually putting a big roadblock in front of yourself. That's kind of, yeah, it's kind of my stance on it. Maybe that's controversial. You know what? It kind of is, but I stick with it. The next one is kind of an expansion on that topic, and that's that you're going to move faster without having to wait on anyone. I've had clients who have had to wait days for their VAs to like write captions, or their social media managers to like write captions for multiple posts, even if they've given them an email that's been written on the same exact topic. And they're like, oh, I'm just like, yeah, I need to get this Instagram post out, but like I'm waiting for Sandra to get back to me with the caption written out. I gave her the email to take inspiration from, but like it was due to me on Tuesday and it's now Friday and I'm still waiting. I think you know where I'm going to go with this. That exact content could have been repurposed within about 30 seconds with AI. So much faster. This is what I mean when I say AI lets you move faster. You're not waiting on availability, someone else's availability. You're not waiting on someone else's time zone. You're not waiting on someone else to finally get around to it. And maybe this is also a controversial take, but waiting on other people could be classed as disguised procrastination. When we move faster, results happen faster, and that can absolutely be scary because, fear of success really loves to. What's a nice way to put this? Fear of success loves to hide behind, I'm waiting for my team. When you use AI, you don't have the luxury of waiting for your team. You decide something and you execute and it's done. Yeah. So actually, while we're on this topic, I am hosting a challenge inside WorkSmart Academy in November called Build Your Team of AI Minions Challenge. You will literally build 8 of these instant execution bots. Yes, you will need that premium version of ChatGPT, but let's be so real right now. It's like 100 times cheaper than hiring 8 humans for these roles. And you are more than welcome to join us. It is going to be over the course of 2 weeks. I will be giving the GPT instructions for you to put in, as well as prompts to personalize those instructions. So that's actually specific to your business, because we're not doing the, blanket strategy for everybody here. And maybe this is your moment to stop waiting and start actually building speed into your business so that not only can you move faster, you can get faster results. And with faster results, you can live the life that you want to live faster, sooner. We've only got so much time in this life. Like, are you really willing to put off your dream life that you have been dying to live since God knows when, maybe since you were like 18, just for the sake of what? Like $20 a month? So that challenge is available to all WorkSmart Academy members for free. If you want to join the challenge and not join WorkSmart Academy, then it's $47. So it's up to you which you want to do. Join WorkSmart Academy and get the challenge as well as everything else included in this incredible productivity membership, or just get the once-off thing, and that's totally fine. The last piece that I want to go into here is you're going to turn everyday tasks into reusable assets. So what do I mean when I say that? Whenever you create a GPT, that isn't just like something's happening faster now, it's an asset. The podcast production GPT that I have is the perfect example here, because it's not just saving me time this week. It's saving me time every week forever. And if ever I'm like, oh, I don't like the structure of my podcast show notes anymore, I can go into the instructions and change the show notes. If there's something that I'm like, oh, I always find myself having to change this piece, I can go in and change it and make it better. That asset is always going to serve me. And that you creating tools like that compounds in value, and it makes your business compound in value, because again, you being the brains of the business, there's no point in you spending your brains on the busy stuff. You've got to spend your brains on the deep creative work that people are coming to you for. Ooh. So you build it once, you benefit forever, and energetically, I'm telling you now, that is what overflow feels like. It's a business that actually runs smoothly, that has space around it, and that doesn't require you to be on 24/7. So again, if you want to experience that for yourself, the AI Minions Challenge is going to walk you through step by step building 8 reusable, personalized GPTs that work just at the same standard or higher than you. So every single one of those is yet another asset and building block towards your low maintenance, high creative business. Fucking men, right? So let's just wrap this one up, right? Before you go running off to Fiverr or some other platform to hire someone for a thing, remember that the more you systemize now, the more spacious and creative your business gets to be later, and the less mistakes there will be. If you hire before you systemize, there's a mistake. That is a mistake in general, but people will make mistakes because there's not a proper process in place. And AI minions in this day and age, are a very easy way to reduce those mistakes and reduce the amount of time and reduce the amount of money that you have to actually give to somebody that you outsource in the first place. So, if this podcast episode hit home for you, DM me on Instagram and tell me what AI bot you're thinking of building first. And if you're ready to go all in, join the Build Your Team of AI Minions challenge and let's get you set up with a dream team, because that's going to be beautiful for you. You're going to save money, you're going to reclaim time, and you're going to step into 2026 with a business that finally runs smartly and the busy stuff is on autopilot. So enjoy. I hopefully will see you there, and I'll chat to you very soon. Bye. All right, gorgeous. That's a wrap on today's episode of the Get Unbusy podcast. If you got some juicy golden nuggets from this episode, I want to hear about it. So take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, and tag me at More to Life Kate, because your girl wants to know. And remember, you're an absolute powerhouse. You can create the life you've been dreaming of, and I can't wait to see you pop off. Chat to you soon. Bye.